Do you think this next passenger deserves a Father of the Year award? I'm a full-time Grab driver, part-time storyteller, full-time father. And I want you to tell me if this next passenger deserves a Father's Day. So once upon a ride, I picked up this passenger and he booked a kid's ride. So it was him and his kid. And as soon as he got in, I could tell that this guy was an outgoing, outspoken guy because he kept making conversation. And so I asked him how old his son was. And he said 5 years old. And then the next thing he said, my shock. Yeah, this is my kid. He's 5 years old and he's one of the liabilities I got from the divorce. And so I was like, okay. So apparently he gets the kid on weekends. So he's a weekend dad. Because of the divorce proceedings, he didn't get custody of the kid and he only sees him on the weekends. And he had just picked up the kid from his ex-wife's place. Well, he didn't quite call his ex-wife his ex-wife. He had other words for her, but I will not use those words on TikTok. Also, it was very strange why he was using these words around his 5-year-old son. Words which the 5-year-old son immediately picked up on and repeated and started laughing. Then the father quite ironically said, "Hey, don't use these words. Who teach you these words?" And I was sitting there driving, I was like, you. I didn't say it, I was thinking like, you did. You just used those words. What are you talking about? And then the son was just laughing and he kept using those words and he was making a lot of noise in the backseat. Okay, this boy seemed a little bit disruptive. And I don't blame the boy, right? I mean, he only sees his dad on the weekends and I don't think this guy is much of a disciplinarian. So why would he behave himself? And so the dad was trying to talk to me and the son was trying to talk to him, the dad. And the dad just basically ignored the son, right? So the son got louder and louder trying to get the dad's attention. And then the dad said this, "Hey, if you don't shut up, this hand will meet your face very soon." And I was like, I mean, as a father, that was so hard. It was so hard to watch. And so he started to tell me about, the divorce. I asked him like, "Oh, why did you get separated from your wife?" And he said that the wife was being a I think you can guess the words that he used, right? His wife was being, and like she was nagging him every day, and every day they were fighting. And then at some point, he just asked himself, "What's the point? Why go back to a house every day just to fight with a woman that he doesn't love anymore?" And anyway, he was seeing us on the side, so he decided to get a divorce. Mind you, he was telling this entire story, talking about the divorce and his now new relationship with his new girlfriend, with the 5-year-old son constantly shouting, trying to get his attention. I mean, it was a lot to take in, so I tried to change the topic. I didn't want the young boy to hear about his dad's new girlfriend and about the sordid details of the divorce. And then suddenly the son asked the dad, he was like, Daddy, what are you getting me for my birthday?" And then he said, "If you don't sit down and shut up, I will not get you a birthday gift." And then the dad turned to me and was like, "Bro, do you know what I'm going to get him for his birthday? I spent so much time thinking about this and I think I got him the perfect gift." And then I said to him, "Are you sure you want to tell me and ruin the surprise to him?" And Dad was like, yeah, he will find out soon anyway." Okay. And so I asked him, "So yeah, what are you going to get him for his birthday? What do you think he's going to get a 5-year-old, mind you, 5-year-old for his birthday?" He said, "Bro, I thought about this long and hard and I've decided I'm going to get him a Nintendo Switch." Now, I don't know if everyone feels the same way as I do about kids with screen time, but I don't think it's a good idea. This is this is just my personal opinion. I don't think it's a good idea to get a 5-year-old a Nintendo Switch. And then the father explained why it was a good idea to get his son a Nintendo Switch for his birthday, so that the son would have something to do when he goes over to his house on the weekend and he wouldn't have to entertain the boy so much. Talk about being a present father. At that point, I was feeling a little bit uncomfortable in my seat. Like, I don't want this conversation to continue because I feel like the more we talk, the harder it is for me to relate to this man. I did not agree with a lot of the things that he said. But he's my passenger. So I can't like disagree with him too hard, right? So I just nodded very, patronizingly. And he said, "Bro, it's such a great gift because we can play together as well." And then he said that he loves gaming and he spent a lot of his time now without his wife nagging at him playing games. And I asked him, Do you think it's a good idea to introduce so much screen time to him when he's young, sort of suggesting that this is a bad idea? And then he said this. Okay, check this out. And this is what he said. It's like, bro, I played computer games since I was a kid. And look, I turned out okay, what? That statement alone, highly contentious. Not many people would agree. Have I done this story before? At this point of the story, I'm thinking, it feels like I've told this story before. Now I'm second guessing myself. Did I tell this story before? Father of the Year or what? How would I have ended it? I'm not sure if I told it in one of the videos or one of my live streams. Well, I guess it's thematic. It's Father's Day, so yeah, why not rehash the story, right? So we were turning to his estate, and then he taps me on the shoulder and he says, bro, you should understand, being a father is a thankless job. You teach them and they won't understand until one day they grow up to be a man and a father themselves. And he taps me on the shoulder again and says, bro, I'm sure you understand, right? You're a father. And again, not patronizingly, as I opened the doors for him. And the guy was wearing his pants so low that I could see half his ass. It was really funny. He picked up his son, closed the door, and waved goodbye. And I saw him walk away, and I was thinking of what I wanted to say to him. But remaining professional, obviously I didn't. And it was this. And yes, one day that boy would have to learn how to be a man and a father. He just won't learn it from you.
Father, into your hands I commend my spirit. Father, into your hands.